Hey guys, Lainey here. Happy Friday. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. This is a new segment that I'm going to call News of the Day, just like my rant of the day and my PSA of the day. So, I don't know if you guys follow obscure news quite as much as I do. I get a lot of my news from Reddit and from, I like to watch the videos every day that Vice News puts out. They put out a news of the day kind of video. And in those videos, yesterday I was watching, there was a specific story that I wanted to actually touch on a little bit today. I thought it was really interesting. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that today. Everyone knows that the Amazon rainforest is being cut down. Ever since elementary school, we've heard them talking about how they're cutting it down. This isn't news to anybody, though I think it's something I haven't heard about in a while. I know it's still happening, but there's, I guess, more important things to talk about, whether you agree with that or not. The news element of this story is the indigenous people that live in the Amazon rainforest called the Ka'apo tribe. They live in this area where illegal deforestation is still happening. So it's not legal. They're just cutting down the trees for money illegally. And this Ka'apo tribe isn't going to stand for that deforestation anymore. I love a good story about an uprising. I love these kinds of stories because they're about people who have been pushed too far and they're pushing back. Just like in Ferguson, Missouri recently, those people had been pushed too far and now they're pushing back. But they're not, in this case, they're not killing people, no one's dying. The Ka'apo Indians are just trying to send a message. Now, it isn't necessarily that I agree with the Ka'apo Indians or what they're doing, or more aptly, how they're pushing back. But I do agree in their methods wherein they're not killing anyone. I am much more supportive of an uprising where no one dies. So, what are the Amazonian warriors doing? They're catching the illegal loggers, stripping them down to absolutely nothing, taking all of their clothes, burning their equipment, or destroying it or the logs they've cut down with the loggers' own tools, and then releasing the loggers to go home. They aren't killing them, and the worst you could get these guys on is property damage. And the fact that they strip them naked so they won't run away is absolutely hilarious and also ingenious. Now, after they destroy their equipment or they destroy the logs, they give the clothes back and they release the loggers to go home, hopefully with a stern warning about what they're doing. So a little bit about the Ka'apo people themselves, right? The Ka'apo Indians are a distinct ethnic group of indigenous Brazilians living in northeastern Maranhão state in Brazil. Historically, they have faced significant tension and violence while defending their territory from deforestation and conversion of land into towns, rice fields, cattle pastures by landless peasants, cattle ranchers, loggers, and local politicians. The way I see it, there's nothing wrong with an indigenous people defending their home from people who are trying to destroy it. Now, if these Indians were beheading people like they are in the Middle East, albeit for different reasons, I would have something very different to say about the whole issue. But they aren't. They're destroying the tools that are used to ruin their land and then letting the illegal loggers go. Hopefully, they're giving them a stern warning, like I said before, when they let them go. Now, one or two of my sources has also said that sometimes the Indians beat up the loggers if they resist them. Which, you know, I still say a punch or two in the nose isn't going to hurt anybody. Now, I don't know for sure that things aren't more violent than Vice, the Huffington Post, and the Independent like to admit. I keep laying on that I support this because they're not killing anyone, but I want to be clear. I only support them if they're just sending a message without killing anyone. Otherwise, things tend to get a little bit, you know, blurry as far as, well, now people are dying and that's a different issue altogether. Now here's where I get a little bit deep on you. Historically, people have been fighting for their land all over the world for thousands of years. But in Brazil alone, there are countless tribes being pushed out or even killed by farmers, loggers, and others trying to take their land and homes. Each of these people is from a different tribe in Brazil. All are threatened by the same issue. This woman is from the most threatened tribe on earth, the Awa Indians of the Amazon. And the saddest story I think I've come by on my research for this vlog is of Ara and Are, the last survivors of their indigenous tribe in the Amazon. Are has since died, making Ara the last remaining member of his tribe and speaker of his language. Because of violent and harmful takeovers of their land, everyone in his tribe but Ara has died. Due to the demand for logging and for farmland, even Indians who have never been contacted by the outside world are beginning to become encroached upon. So these people fighting for their land historically has been going on for a really long time, and it isn't always successful. But humans are inherently greedy. We're always trying to take what isn't necessarily ours, what someone else owns. I have always believed that ownership of land seems really strange, that you can own a piece of the earth, a piece of land that is yours and no one else's. I don't think that you should be able to own land. I don't think that that should be allowed. If there isn't a building on it or a farm, a piece of actual physical property that you own on that land, then that land should be free for anyone to respectfully use. And then comes my second problem, that humans aren't necessarily the most respectful of species. We are greedy, and we're disrespectful of not only what we don't own or even what we own, but of pretty much everything. We don't think about other people needing to use this land. This, while we're on it, it's ours, and oh, I broke that, someone else will fix it, I don't care. It's disrespectful, not thinking about other people and their needs and their wants and how we can help each other to fulfill those needs and wants. That's just the thing about humans. We're not very respectful of anything, of ourselves, of others, of life in general. I'd like to think that these Indians understand that the loggers are just trying to make a living and support themselves and their families. But they're doing it at a great detriment to not only the Indians themselves, but also to the earth. And I'd like to think that the Indians are just trying to teach a lesson to them and to the world. And hopefully somebody learns something. That's it for your news of the day today. I hope you learned something new today. Thanks for watching. It's great to be here, and I hope that you will hit that button down below and subscribe for more news of the day, PSA of the day. I gotta do a rant of the day. I've got so much stuff queued up to do. I can't wait to post some new videos for you before I go jetting off to Germany. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye. So I'm much more supportive of an uprising. I am much more supportive of an uprising where no one dies.